Hello and welcome to Happily Ever Reality. I am so glad that you are here. Today I am talking about sister wives. I'm specifically going to be talking about Garrison and Gabriel, which are Janelle's sons, and Cody. In season 17, episode 2, you're watching the show and a lot of it is about Christine and Isabel and Cody, but they kind of throw in this little side story that we haven't been focusing on, and that is Garrison and Gabe and their relationship with Cody. So you're watching the show and all of a sudden you see Cody sitting there and he seems a little bit on edge and he starts talking about his sons, and I want you to hear what he has to say.
Garrison calls me up with his narcissistic attitude and goes, "This is your fault and I'm never going to be around you again."
He's telling his dad, I'm done. I'm done with you because I don't like how I think my mom is being treated, how we're being treated at this house.
So if you don't know a lot of the backstory about this, Garrison and Gabriel are two of Janelle's sons. They are older, they are adults, they still live with Janelle, and they have a huge issue with some of Cody's COVID rules and how extensive they are. He had a lot that he gave the wives during the last season, and they are not happy about it. So in this last episode, season 17, episode 2, we suddenly see that Garrison had contacted his dad and basically said, "I'm done with you." Cody just looks really, like, I'm sure with Christine leaving and then this phone call, it's a lot. Like, Cody might need to take some time to himself. He looks, I mean, anyone would be upset, but I do think getting on national television and calling your son a narcissist might be something you're going to regret in the future. I would also be really surprised to find out that Janelle was okay with that. Like, I feel if Janelle saw that scene where he was talking about Garrison in that way, I think she would be furious. I don't know. I mean, you never know how these women are going to respond to things, but she seems to really stick up for her kids. So, and I'm also just floored that someone would do that. I would never do that. Like, I think this is one of those things it's hard to come back from. But Cody also says this, and it blows me away. Just listen to what he says here.
On this narrative that COVID is fake. Let's admit it, everybody. It's real. And those people who don't think it is real just are being stupid about it, okay?
At no point on this show has anyone said COVID is not real. And after this little scene with Cody, they showed Janelle and Christine both saying, "Yeah, we know it's real." And Janelle says, "I even had COVID. Like, I know it's real." And she points out that Garrison has already had the vaccination because he's in the military. So, like, I don't know if anyone else in the family has gotten the vaccine. No one's, at least I haven't seen any comments on it. But, like, Garrison is the only person who has it. So if anyone's like, "Hey, I'm taking the precautions," you could say Garrison might be the one who's done the most at this point.
So I just called Janelle and said, "I need Gabriel and I need Garrison to both move out."
This is the most hilarious thing to me. He's threatened this before. I'm like, dude, you're not even on the lease. I'm on the lease.
Because it's like they're blaming me for having rules about COVID.
I don't know what that phone call was like, of course, because we don't hear it in this episode, but I do not believe Garrison called his dad and said, "Hey, COVID's not real and your rules are ridiculous." Like, I just don't think that was the phone call. I don't think he's blaming him for it. I don't think he's saying that COVID's not real. I think he called his dad out for making up rules that are ruining their family. They're so extreme that they can't all be together. Like, I think he's just calling his dad out for that. But Janelle actually gives us a little bit more insight, and I think it's probably what most of us are actually thinking about this situation.
They have for a long time perceived that Cody's focus, his time, everything was spent the majority at Robin's house, even when he lived in Vegas. But they're very frustrated. They feel like there's been a real preference for Robin. And so this thing with COVID now, where he's now at her house because she's willing to follow his rules, they are a little bit suspicious.
So I think this should be a lesson to Cody. If you show up for your kids and you stick up for your kids and you're there for them when they need you, they are going to stick up for you when you need them. I mean, I guess that might not happen every time, but Janelle's kids are showing up for her. They're adults. Garrison and Gabriel are adults, and they're old enough to go, hey, that relationship, Mom, isn't good. And you may stay in it, but I'm done with Dad. Like, I don't like how you're being treated. And I just think this, in some ways, you might not always agree with their reactions. I think they are young. So sometimes the reactions can be a little bit immature and emotional. But Janelle seems to have raised good kids. So I want to show you one more clip. It's not really that much, but I do think it's a little bit interesting. I think what Kody is saying is not how viewers feel, which is, I mean, that's kind of common. Kody often says things that people would disagree with. But I just found this interesting. Listen to what Kody says about his relationship with his family.
Good thing is just boiling out our relationships.
It's boiling it out to find out really who we are with each other.
So he says this is bringing out who they really are. And my first reaction was that I disagreed a little bit. Like, it's creating conflict that might have not been there. But then I thought about it more, and he's right. It really is bringing to the surface the fact that he seems to have a favorite wife, and he wants to spend more time there, and now he has a reason to, and it's just showing who he really is. I think, though, it was trying to say that the kids have a negative view of him or they don't respect him, but I think for most of us viewers, we're watching it, and all it does is show him in a negative way. I don't think less of these kids for sticking up for their mothers or sticking up for themselves. I definitely don't think very highly of him for not always showing up when they needed him. I do wonder if Christine leaving, or like Christine's struggles, because I have to keep reminding myself at this point she hasn't like went and told the family, but I do wonder if the children in the family have picked up on Christine kind of distancing herself, and maybe Janelle even distancing herself a little, and they're feeling emboldened. Like they're feeling like they can confront their dad about these issues and also make those same choices. I don't know. That might be a bit of a leap. It's hard to tell sometimes with the show because you don't know the timing. I keep having to like think in my head, like, where were we at with COVID right now? Does his actions make sense, or is he not like moving forward the way most of us were trying to, find a way to live and be cautious? Is he not doing that? So I don't know. I just wonder if Christine leaving him could be the catalyst, like it could be the push they all need to confront him and make the choices that are good for them. And maybe at some point Kody is going to see that he himself has made some bad decisions with his family. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Christine leaving will do anything for the other relationships. So that is all for today. If you kind of have followed Kody's relationship with his kids, both Isabel and Garrison and Gabe, I feel like that's been a big storyline the last season or two. If you have any feelings about that or any things to add, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Also, if you are new here and you haven't already, please click like and subscribe. I am a reality TV junkie, so hopefully I'm going to be adding some more shows on here. If there's any good ones that you like that are kind of like missed by a lot of people, let me know those in the comments. I'm always looking for something new to watch. I hope you come back. Thank you for joining me at Happily Ever Reality.